Hey all, welcome back. So, also during my trip in the UK, I found one of my wanted list planes, Hellooo Dotty F-104 Starfighter. Box number is 1041. Fun fact, I believe she was never out of the box before. First time I'm reviewing on my channel a Starfighter. I have, I think, around 40 or 50 of them, Starfighters. I don't know why, I have a weakness for this type of plane. I like the shape of it, I like the purpose of it. High-speed interceptor, but standard box for what comes for Hobby Master, at least. No special prints, only sticker. Basic information. The plane looks still in one package. I think it was inspected, but found it at Aviation Retail Direct. I think they purchased it in. I don't believe that they had it sitting. Wow. Yeah, literally it's never been unboxed, so that's really nice find. Those are the type of finds that I like. I paid quite a hefty pound for it. I believe it was like 90 pounds and then 10% discount for being a member, which is, by the way, an interesting deal if you ever want to purchase something from Aviation Retail Direct in the UK. Have a look to become a member. It's free, no subscriptions or anything that's holding you back. It's something you can just sign in for and get a 10% discount for nothing. So worth it in my point of view. Every pound saved is yours. Still has actually the printed out information sheet. This one is a German Starfighter, also one I have in my collection. But at least shows where all the parts go. So this is still very handy, but with the age of internet, you can actually find these things also. I think that's what I meant in another video. So glue that comes off from one of the rockets. So the rocket came off the sprocket. It happens. Not something I would be worried about myself. It comes along and it happens a lot. So at age where glue deteriorates, it comes loose. I have to say on the models from Hobby Master, because I have them like models that are 10 years plus old, some of them are still good and no issues. So I would not be too worried about that type of stuff. I think not as bad as zinc rot, which I haven't seen yet with my models, so I'm very happy. But I know there is a notorious list on that one. Maybe I'll do a video on that also in the future. So Hellooo Dotty. Yeah, it's never been on the packaging, so happy toads. There was always a spare one with the Starfighters, which I really like. Only with the single seats, by the way. The double seat versions is one molded piece. Then pilot. Standard Hobby Master pilot for the Starfighter. The wheel assembly. I'm going to assemble this one actually on flight or on the stationary mode or park mode. So I'm going to show you with the wheels under it, but the wheels actually rotate still on this one. Not sure of that because the glue's old, but nice detailed molded parts. But we'll show you in a second when putting it together. Front wheel, nice single assembly. Let's take the main part out, the model itself. With these it's always a bit tricky, but I like to pull them a bit on their wings, because that's the only real main structure part that you can really push on this model. Yeah, so it's still new, so it has all the foliage still in the covers, so that's really cool. Now, the Hellooo Dotty signage. I'll take some close-ups after this. I already have a spot in mind in my cabinet for this one, because I've been waiting for it. But still looks really good for its age. Also the tail, by the way, this is quite a weak part. So you have all this is die cast, and then the back part here from the bone part where it goes up into the tail wing, this is a separate part. So this sometimes comes loose, don't worry about that. If you find one used that has that, just a matter of putting some nice glue on it that's not too vapored, and you can put it back together. Same for the tail wing here. It also is just snapped in there with a little bit of glue, but very simple made. Let's put it together. So when they come from the factory, the Starfighters, you can just pull them out on the plastics. I tend to leave the plastic on there because I like that. It makes them easy to find afterwards. Just pull on the plastic and all comes out, usually. So I'm doing this on the table and nothing falls on the ground like I usually have. So empty. So I took the time to paint this in a silver color, so that's really cool. but it's not part of the die cast, so it's literally just snapped in there and glued in, but that doesn't really matter. So the only parts you need for the assembly are these two now, for the rear wheel, and then there are a total of 4 covers. Let me see if I can get them out for you guys. I'll show them one by one so you guys can see how it's installed. You can judge if you like it or not. So these are the biggest. They're in the front. They're nicely marked out with a right and a left. And then for the rear part, there's no markings on this one, but some of them have. This is self-explanatory because it's literally 2 non-identical parts like the rest. So when putting it together, I like to, some people click in the wheels first and then start fiddling around with putting the back covers in. I personally like to put the back covers in first. I also need to have a look again how it sits. So I'm going to show you. So the rear, the top of the 3, the top ones are for the panel itself. And you can click them in already in advance. If they don't stay, as I said in previous videos, use some Pritt glue or some white hobby glue, so paper glue in this case, kids glue. So keep it in place, but then you can put in the wheel assembly over that. And the nice thing about the wheel assembly, if I can get it in, of course. Maybe the other way fits a bit better. At least that's how I like to put them together. That's just better. So always have a look at left or right, what sits best. So the nice thing about that is that the pegs on the wheels, they hold on the folders like it would be with a real plane, like the hydraulics. So that's really cool. Then the centerpiece, so the wishbone, let's say, it clicks over the wheels again. So that wheel assembly, this holds that. So all these parts hold each other accountable, or at least together. And then it's just a matter of putting the flaps in, or the covers for the wheels. So the last part there is another arm that clicks into the wheel assembly. See if I can do a close-up after this. And that holds everything together. One of the most complex, or at least complex is a big word, but at least one of the most complexer wheel assemblies, which is really cool because it shows all the details. So they did that really well. Front wheel is a lot less exciting. So front wheel goes in first. It has a little pack for it that sticks out in the middle and then goes in there. And then it's just a matter of putting the wheels in, or the wheel covers in. I believe it was this one forward. So the notch that's 45 degrees goes in the front like this. And then this one also, it's not as bad as the MiG-21s. They are a lot more fiddly to put in. I really need some pliers with my fingers. But that's how the wheel assembly looks. I'll shoot a close up after this again, like I mentioned. Then to put the pilot in, the whole window assembly needs to come out, which is quite easy. It's all back down. Also here, the canopy, even for that time, is really well detailed, or the cockpit interior. They did always do a good job with that, little fine prints and stickers and so on. Pilot goes in quite easily. For the window assembly, if you would like an open cockpit, it comes with 3 windows. With the TF, the double-seated version, it has even more window parts. Then the window becomes literally, oh, there it starts flying off, loose assemblies. So now, in this case, I'll show you with one part in there how it would look. Personally, not a big fan of the open canopy, but I just want to show it to you guys how it looks. So that would mean that the rear and the front part glasses would go in now, which is really cool and detailed, but not for me. So it would look something like this. But we're going with closed canopy in this case. This is one full assembly, which I personally like better, that's all. There's no disadvantage on it. When pushing the window in, make sure you have a finger under the frame, because the wheels don't like to be pushed. The pitot. So as I mentioned, there's a spare one in this kit. I believe all that I have had from Hobby Master always had a spare pitot, which is nice, because it's always easy when you're putting things in your cabinet and then accidentally hit them while cleaning or something. It happens. So I always keep the spare in the box in case I ever need it. I'll put the pitot on last because I'm notorious also myself for knocking them off. So the nice thing when putting it on the wheels is that I can actually put the rockets under it. Now I'll re-glue this one, as I mentioned, it comes loose after a while. Just some second glue you can put on here and just put it in. It's straightforward. It happens every once in a while. It sits like this, really nice detail with the blue and the red. The tanks, they took their time there. So you have two different camouflages. Also details, but the bottom is a bit less nice, let's say. But gas tanks are often a bit rough on the real planes also. Let's see how this one goes on, because I've had some cases where this needed some modification. I see they already modded it at the factory. So what I mean with modded, so they made the sleeving a bit bigger, so that clicks under there. I think they used a little hot knife or something, which works. That does the trick. But also here you can see it's all hand painted, so you see some paint residue there, which I always like, because a clean plane is rare to see in this type. It comes with drop bombs, which I really like. Something different, like Snoopy the Sniper also has drop bombs. Fun fact, by the way, I now see it again. So this one is a bit sleeved out more. So it's literally for the other side. So it has a bigger insert. Let's see if I can get it in without damaging anything. As you can see, my concentration here. This one is not easy to put in. The bomb is also coming loose. It's not bad, but it happens every once in a while. Things are a bit more of a tight fit on especially older models, I've noticed. So these don't really fit properly, and the frame is too big to put it into the model. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shave this down a little bit with a little X-Acto knife, just to get it more space on it. So we'll do that in another shoot. So here we're back. So I made a small modification to the bombs. Modification is a big word. As you can see, I shaved off some of the plastic material there, so they actually can sit in there now. See that I have to reassemble this tank a little bit. It's a bit still not sitting straight. And then I have to reattach the rocket and the bomb itself. For that, I like to use like a second glue. This one is quite easy one. It actually puts back the glue in the bottle if you don't squeeze it. So I highly recommend something fine dosing. Don't go too far with it. But in general, a very cool plane. Also the pitot tube with the older ones. I had to shave that down a little bit with a X-Acto knife. So a hobby knife, as I would say. As you can see, the plastic shavings are still on there. Sometimes it needs a little bit of modification. If you don't like that, then yeah, the older Hobby Master models might not be your thing. But in general, they're not bad. The cool details. I'm happy to have this in my collection. Alrighty, guys. So thanks for watching again.